Welcome to another episode of What's Up with DJ, and I'm your host, DJ. Each week, I bring you topics about current events and career development, finance, holistic living, life hacks, and stories of inspiration and humor, all from a spiritual perspective. So be sure to subscribe, follow, like, comment, and leave a review on Apple Podcast. And you can also subscribe at DLLOYD jr.com/subscribe. Again, that's DLLOYDJR.com/subscribe. Your thoughts, opinions, and comments are always encouraged and appreciated. With that being said, let's get right into the show. My guest this week is Wendy Zizzo. She is the founder of Full Aspect Group and the author of the book Stage 4, A Cancer Survivor's Story, which chronicles her experiences as being a biracial female, being raised in a single-parent family home in Staten Island, New York. The many challenges and trials and tribulations she encountered while growing up. In 2004, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. After a near-death battle with cancer, she decided to pursue her dreams as a hip-hop artist. She has released 3 albums, Diamond from the Rock, Volume 1 and Volume 2, and the EP From the Ashes. As Zizzo has pursued her passion for performing, she's appeared on multiple stages like the Apollo's Theater's Amateur Night, in which she walked away as the winner. She has toured and performed in the show Break and has opened for legendary rapper Chub Rock. She's also worked with hip-hop groups such as Dana Dane and DJ Johnny Juice in the Terra Dome Studios, to name just a few. Many describe her as a breath of fresh air, and she still has persisted through it all, earning the name Phoenix by her peers and elders. How you doing, Wendy?
I'm groovy. How are you?
I'm doing good. Wendy or Zizzo? Which one should I call you?
You can just call me Zizzo. It makes it so much
Zizzo.
simpler. Yeah, it's like
Okay,
the name
Zizzo.
sticks and it's easy, and when it rolls off your tongue, it's like zzz, 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 so
Yes. Yes, I like. Yeah, exactly. I kept saying it over and over again. I kept saying Zizzo, Zizzo, Zizzo.
yeah, see, it's nice. It's like velvet. No.
Yeah, and it took me forever to get through that intro. I mean, I had to keep reading over and over again. I think I mentioned it before on a previous show that I have braces now, and I swear to God, it's like trying to,
Adjustment. Yeah.
adjust to it. So anybody who has braces, you can put in the comments about your experience. Ain't it crazy? Did you ever have to have wear braces? I have
No,
to.
they when I wanted them, my mom didn't get them, and then I just said, "F it." I mean, I thought about it because I have a gap like on the side from when I was younger. I did it to myself. It was my fault, but I thought about closing my gap, but people are like, "Oh, it adds character to you." I'm like, I guess. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does. It does. If you would have saw my teeth before I got braces, would have said your grill just jacked up. That's what you would have said. So
I'm
yeah,
grateful
this
I
is.
got something decent enough. I didn't need them. So I'm grateful
Hmm.
for that. But
Yeah,
good
yeah.
luck to you with that journey.
Yes, this is the second time with this journey. So the
Oh, so
first time
you already be knowing then.
yeah, I had them before, but I just did not want to have the a retainer placed in. And if you get braces, then make sure to keep your teeth where they supposed to be. You need to get a retainer. I didn't do that, for certain reasons.
I hear you.
So, so back to you.
Yes,
So,
sir.
your book just recently came out. You sent me a text message saying, "Hey, my book is out," and I've been
Yeah,
seeing.
yeah. So what I did was released a revised version of it because the first initial release of it was in 2017, but then I wanted to do an audio book for it. So I had to basically re-edit the book because as I was reading it, I found a couple of just errors that, me being a sort of perfectionist was like, oh no, I gotta fix that. So
Mm-hmm.
I revised the book and released the audio book with it. So yeah, this
Oh
is
wow.
the official re-release of Stage 4: A Cancer Survivor Story. And I also wrote and released another book as well called The Secret Power of Journaling, which teaches learning how to use the power of writing, to manifest happiness now, basically.
Yeah. I love journaling. I'm journaling for many years, and
Yeah,
it's
I
about
even
so
created 4 journals too. There's 4 up there.
yes, and I'll have the links to your books and down in the show description. And we'll get into about your journey as well. And about, how did you survive stage 4 cancer? That's definitely and how is your life now? I definitely want to get into all of that. But what I want to really focus in on is what was the signs that before you had you went to the doctor and they diagnosed you as having cancer. What were some of the signs that you begin to notice that made you want to say, okay, there's something's going on, I need to see the doctor?
Um, I was really tired a lot, and then I started having pains where because I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so it's the lymphatic system. So I was having pain, excuse me, in my lymph nodes, and after a couple days, and then it just getting crazy. That's when I started to go look into seeing a doctor, and then it just started up a long process, of finding out. Like it took a while because I don't know if we say free healthcare don't work that fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had to wait for appointments and stuff. So by the time they got around to it, knowing what it was, that was stage 4 already. So
Wow. And how much time from you feeling tired and them getting to a diagnosis, how much time
it
between
was
that?
probably it might have been maybe 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
2 3 months because I was just going through the whole process of this doctor to that doctor, this test, waiting
Hmm.
for the results, so yeah.
Wow. And then to get that news that were you surprised that you were that far along
I
when
mean,
they told you?
honestly, I didn't know what stage 4 was. Like I was
Okay.
21 years old. I was a
Wow.
kid basically. And my mom, she worked in healthcare because she was a CNA. And when the doctor told us that it was stage 4, I thought there was a 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where my mind was. And I was like, "Ma, what's stage 4?" She said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "Okay." Then I just focused on the TV because I didn't even care. It didn't
Mm,
matter to me. I had
mm.
already made up my mind I was going to be fine.
Oh, that's one thing that's exceptional is when you have made up your mind that, I want to make it through this. So you had
Yeah,
already made in your mind. And
there was
it
a
was
turning point. Now there was a really, you could say, spiritually experienced turnaround in a sense. And I mentioned it in the book, of a moment of clarity came to me after bawling my eyes out for a day, asking why. And, I got that answer. And after that, I just knew like, all right, let's do what we got to do. What is it? Stage 4? Okay, whatever. I don't know what that is.
mhm,
What do I got to do to get it past it? Oh, I got to do this, this, this. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. All right. It's like,
mhm, mhm,
that's where I stayed with it. And I feel like the less you know, the better, because it
mm.
gives you less to really focus on. Like, why are you going to focus on every intricate detail of it? That's not going to make it any better.
Right, right. Do you think you felt the way because you just were no, not no, we 21 years old, we think we know it all when we're 21 anyway, right? Do you think we're just because they're just because of ignorance of the situation, or you didn't really understand really understand the consequences of it all, or was it just that you was in that tough kind of mindset back then that even
I
now
would say
that
it's some of everything you said. I would
hmm
say it was a little bit of all of that because it was a little
hmm
bit of me just not fully understanding the gravity of it, because like I
Hmm.
said, I didn't know what stage 4 was, and I didn't care to look into it, because to me, I already knew, like, all right, so this is the solution. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, let's get to it, right?
Like, just let's just get to it. Like, don't tell me deeper and bigger and how dire it is. Like, I mean, the funny part was before I had got diagnosed, like maybe a month before, I was like, it's actually no, it was like a month and a half before. I had bought these tickets to this upcoming concert, and I mentioned it in the book. And when they diagnosed me, the concert was like the next week. And I was like, they was like, yeah, you got to start chemo right away. I said, I'm not
Hmm.
missing this concert. Mm-mm. We'll start next week. I
So
waited
was
this long. We can wait a couple more days.
so were you performing, or you was going to
No,
go
no, no.
to
I
see
went to
someone?
it. It was a concert. It was the ladies' first tour. It had, because Alicia Keys, I was in love with Alicia Keys. It
Oh
was
yeah.
her, Missy, Beyonce, Tamia, and they tore it up. Like, I was, and my seat was so close, like I could feel the fire and stuff. I was like, I wasn't missing that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so it was like, your chemotherapy starts this day. And you're like, oh hell no, I'm not missing this concert. I'm not missing this
Exactly.
concert.
I said, I am not missing this. I waited this long to find out what the problem was. Y'all can wait a couple more days. He's like, well,
Uh,
you need to start right away. Like, I'm like, you can wait.
yeah, yeah. I like that. I like the
and
attitude.
and I went. Yeah.
You
So
know, because joy is what's gonna, to me, I think, outside of, science, is joy. That's what I
yeah,
think
absolutely.
is the greatest
Gratitude,
thing.
joy, all that. Yes, absolutely.
So at some point when you begin the chemotherapy, do you ever lose all your hair and through the
Yep, I was
process?
bold as a doorknob.
So how
Actually,
was that?
in the back of the book, the very last pages, I put a picture of me when my hair was. I think it would just started growing back, like slightly.
Hmm.
In the pictures I put in the book.
Did that then when that began to happen, did it make it more real for you, or what was your mindset at that particular time when you begin to lose your hair, or all your hair was now gone and you like, okay, this is some stuff that's going, this is
Well, I
powerful
mean,
stuff.
when they told me about the chemo, and I was like, "Oh, so I'm gonna lose my hair," and they was like, "Yeah," I was like, "All right, well, hair grows." So when
Hmm.
my hair started falling out, like I was trying to thug it out, but then when I started looking like the Crypt Keeper, I was like, "Oh no, let's just shave it off." So we just shaved it all off, and I did it purposely on Mother's Day that year because I wanted to remember the date I did it. Um, yeah, and then I just made fun with it, really. Like, it didn't bother me until I actually put on the wig and then took the wig off. That's the only time it really bothered me. Other than that, I was just always looking for the fun in it. Like, the best thing was going and taking a shower and the hot water hitting the top of my head. Like, it just made me hate men more that y'all could do that more often than us.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that was an amazing feeling. I was like, oh my God. So, I found ways to enjoy it, and I didn't really wear the wig much. I just went to wearing scarves and hats. So you always
Hmm.
see me with a scarf with a Kango or something, like, and people didn't even believe me that I was sick till I went like this. And they were like, "Oh, shit, you bald."
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So you was rocking it. So in
Oh
other
yeah, I was
words.
rocking it. I mean, I wasn't rocking my ballie outside. Wasn't nobody gonna see it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but my friends definitely tried to talk me into it once my hair started growing back. But yeah, like I said, my mindset really just went into the mode I've always been, or I've always done my best to be throughout my life, which is just focus on the things that make me laugh at the moment. Because
Hmm.
if I was to stop and just start thinking about all the things that bother me, I dig myself into a deep hole and I won't get out. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
it really it's pointless to a degree, because
Yeah.
sometimes we think if we keep thinking about this thing that somehow that'll make it better, and it doesn't. It just makes it worse. And then on the flip side, part of the reason why we dwell on certain things is because that's connected to something else within you that needs to be cleared, to be integrated, to be healed. And, and it's like when something's continuous, more than likely it's connected to something. that if you were to resolve that distress, you'd feel a lot better. But what we're trained to do is to focus on problem, details of the problem, details of the problem, and it doesn't get you anywhere in the way
Right.
you feel,
Yeah, it doesn't
except
get
for
you
just
anywhere.
feeling worse.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, exactly. Because one negative thought can just contribute to another negative thought, and then next thing you know,
Absolutely.
you done totally devastated your whole
Yeah,
mood.
then the
Yeah,
natural law gets it and it just snowballs and gets bigger and bigger.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So one of the things that I definitely wanted to ask you was, you once you got through the process of having cancer and getting through cancer and being a cancer survivor. At that point, when did you decide? Was it at the hospital after you got your I'm cancer free? When did you decide that you wanted to sort of change your life and sort of reevaluate things and say I'm going to become an artist? I'm going to start doing what I want to do.
Well, I've always been involved in music since elementary school. I was in the band. I played the saxophone. I was in the marching band. Always loved music. And maybe a year or two before I got sick, I started um, writing rhymes. Like before that, I used to write poetry and I would try to write love songs and stuff. I was a hopeless
Hmm.
romantic, and I started writing rhymes and I got pretty good at it. So when I got sick, the only thing I could really do is write. That's all I could do is like to keep my mind off of things was just write whatever. So after, I had the thought in my mind was there like, ooh, I'd like to be an artist one day. But I didn't believe like, hey, you could you do it? I don't know. But then once after going through that, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna do this. Now this
Mm.
is gonna happen. Like I ain't survived to not do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Hmm.
it's like I'm still here. Oh yeah, that means I have to do this, and I got really good at it too. Oh yeah, this got to happen.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
I started up the process of learning how to record and then writing, like, because I was, like I said, I always was writing. So just getting used to hearing myself. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a hard part. We have to
Yeah,
actually
like
listen to yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When I started, I was like, I don't know, can I do this? And then it was 2006. I remember "Take Me as I Am" by Mary J. Blige came out,
I love that song.
and yeah, and I was going through something myself at that time, and I was driving to work one day, and I just wrote like a whole song, like as if I could make a remix to it, and I wrote it down. I was like, I'm gonna record this. I'm gonna find a way to record this. So I got the instrumental. I came across this lady I met that knew somebody that had a studio, and voila, I recorded it. And then I met up with a old friend of mine that wound up being, involved in the music business some, and he made a connection. Well, he the first time he took me to a bar, and it was a karaoke bar out in Brooklyn called Club Essence in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Uh, Whoever from Brooklyn know Essence, So I did he wanted to test me out on the stage, and I killed it. Like I was shaking and everything. That was my first time performing solo in front of people. Because when I was in the band, I used to always perform on stage. I was in plays and stuff as a kid, but like solo was like I was like this with the microphone, and I
Yeah.
just
So you
I
were
just gave
shy.
it all I got. Yeah, I was just gave it all I got, and people was like encore, encore. They made me perform it again. So he was like, okay, she got something. Next thing I know, he takes me. He's like, we're gonna go audition for somewhere. I was like, okay. We got in the car, went up to Harlem, and put me on the line at the Apollo. And then,
Wow.
then the next time I performed in front of people was at the Apollo. So
Wow. The second time.
yes, like after I did the audition and I got through, which I was like, oh shit, I got through. Then I went and started rehearsing. Like I went to my old school, like I knew the super there, so he let me use the stage. I had my little speaker. Well, actually back then it was the radio with the Discman at the top, so I had it playing, and I'm like practicing my heart out. So by the time I got to Apollo, I was ready. And that night was crazy magical, man. Like magical night. Like,
Because I'm sure it's different between performing at home and performing in front of people. So the experience of having you can perform at home and have that experience, but having people acknowledge what you're doing and you're seeing the expression on people's faces, I'm quite sure
yeah.
that quite a different experience, right?
Oh, listen, I'll say this. The way that the lighting is when you're on stage is helpful. And that was because you can't really see the entire audience because of the lighting. So all I could see is like the first couple rows. And I got to a point in the song where I was like, everybody clap your hands to the beat. And I just seen everybody go clap, clap. And I just went in even harder.
And getting an Apollo audience to like when you go to Apollo, people can boo you off stage, right? And to
Exactly.
have an Apollo get that stamp of approval from an Apollo's audience, that really means something, right?
My first time performing solo in front of a large audience. That was crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That
amazing.
was so dope.
So one of the things I also wanted to discuss with you is, because one of the things that I thought was so amazing about your story is, because we all want have a calling on our life, and we all have things that we supposed to be doing, right? And service is the rent that we pay for living on this planet.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that calling, people don't pursue it because I think what I can't who said it, well, a dream deferred, with Langston Hughes, I believe. People put off their dreams because of the fear of doing it, of not believing that it's a possibility, that's too far away, that's silly, that's so different from what I'm doing right now, how I'm going to make money off of that. All those things come up to stop us from pursuing our calling. And it takes something like, someone telling you, you're not going to be here. And, you know, if we don't get through this, if you don't get through chemo, if you don't get this cancer cured, whatever the scenario is, and it puts a fire under your ass that says, okay, you know what? I don't give a damn if I succeed or fail.
I'm gonna do
I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from your story, that I'm going to do this with all the fury and drive that I'm going to do, because I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And um I'm given a second chance.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I found was so amazing. And you actually went and did it. You actually said, I'm going to pursue it. I don't care if I fail or succeed. I'm just going to do this thing
If I
because
fail, I'm gonna still make it look sexy.
there you go. I'm going to follow sexy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. Mm.
I love it.
Word.
That's what it's all about. That's what that was what inspired people, is when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're loving what you're doing, and you know that this is what I supposed to be doing. I mean, it all comes together for you. And watching your videos on TikTok and Instagram, which I'll have down in the description as well, is that I can see the joy and the joy that you have. And one thing that I have a big respect for is when people able to talk to a camera, because you be sitting in your car and you be talking to doing your Instagram videos and your TikTok videos. And I'm just like, because I detest doing that. I enjoy having conversations with people, right? But I have a great admiration for people who can just engage. You know what? I'm just gonna put this phone on, whatever I say, to
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to just engage, and I love that. So that's what I think your gift is being able to connect with people, whatever medium you're going to use, be it music, poetry, just having a one-on-one in your car with your cell phone, with pressing that record button, that live button, and just saying it. That's what I think is your gift.
Thank you. Thank you. I like that. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I like it a
So
lot.
So, so how can people reach out to you and find you? I just did mention TikTok
Oh, they can go on my website, zizzolife.com. That's zizzolife.com.
Mhm,
Also, my other site, you can hit me up. Like, it's more so because, so segue into, um, other than the music that came out of me, it also me sharing self-love, and
mhm,
the arts of self-love is something else that I had to learn along my own journey, and people would think, oh, you beat cancer, so you good. Like, hell to the no, no, no. You know,
mhm,
like, cancer was a physical journey. My body was definitely tested, and I had to do a lot of work on my body, to sustain myself, you know,
mhm,
uh, but also it was a emotional journey as well. And going through that type of situation, plus all the other things I've gone through in my life, which I mentioned in the book, just all the craziness growing up, you know, uh, all of that stuff contributed to me just, like, blatantly just being really messed up, depression, anxiety, all these terms that we use to
and
describe
that was
just
after
feeling
the
terrible.
chemotherapy?
That was before, during, and after in many ways. Like, even though, yes, I did do my best to keep my mindset as positive as I could, but absolutely I had my moments of, despair and heartache and pain, and absolutely, like, I'm human. I'm like, people think, if I speak about self-love, that means that I don't go through pain. It's like, no, I speak through self-love because I have been in pain, and
Right,
I'm
you're speaking from
teaching so that,
experience.
yeah, I'm teaching one so that I can share the information that I learned that is actively helping me. And at the same time, as I'm sharing it, it's also helping to uh, restore it, like, even within myself,
Mhm,
because whenever you're speaking to people, you're also speaking, to yourself,
mhm.
so I always make
Like
it my
therapy.
business. Yeah, I make it my business to practice what I preach. I'm not going to preach anything that I haven't practiced,
Mhm,
so it's definitely been a journey with just learning self-love, and finding out, more importantly, how much I wasn't loving myself, so that I could learn all the hows to loving yourself. Because, people are like, oh, you got to love yourself, Yeah, but how? Like, how do
exactly.
you actually do it? So I went on hours, and like over 10,000 hours of study and practice of just learning this whole hows. And what's came out of it is, holy crap, I'm like totally different person
Yeah.
in regards to the amount of healing and such a, we call it healing, that I've accomplished in the last few years alone. So from that, I say all that to say that, um since even on my TikTok, I talk a lot about the arts of self-love, which is me just basically sharing the nuggets, like, share the nuggets. So the other site is manifesthappinessnow.com. And there it shows you, it's a free ebook actually, called The 7 Seeds of Self-Love. And that's really just helping with daily practice, because the only way you can truly love yourself is to practice it every day, just like you
Yeah.
practice not loving yourself every day. The thing is that you have to learn to deliberately practice loving yourself every day, instead of being on default of continuously not loving yourself every day, because that's what you've been practicing. You got
Right.
to kind of like break
The
up
cycle.
the patterns, yeah, and the cycles, and you can
Mhm,
only do that by having something to feed that, so the 7 seeds of self-love is just a daily seed. You just read one a day and just digest it,
mhm,
just digest it, and every time you read it again, it'll hit you differently,
mhm,
because once you put it in there the first time, it's gonna, rewire something, then you'll new experience, and now you'll go back and read it again from that new vantage point that you're at now, so it's just something to continuously feed your mind with. And it's a free ebook that's on manifesthappinessnow.com. You can also get to it from zizzolife.com as well, but it's just both of them.
mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'll have that also in the show description as well. Yeah, people can easily get to it. And and one of the things that I definitely wanted to point out was, what are some of the of course, some of the ways they can reach out to you and get a hold of you. is great. I also want them to be able to, get your music, and actually, I wanted to, play some of your music here. So make sure you send me
Hey.
MP3 or
Yeah,
something, because
absolutely. Yeah. So
maybe
everything
the
is on
intro.
iTunes. Yeah, it's on iTunes, Spotify, just look it up from the ashes. Zizzo the Phoenix is up there. Definitely send you the links to it. It's
Hmm.
even, I believe you can get to it from my website too. You just go to my website and I think you just tap my picture and it'll take you right to iTunes. So
Okay.
it's up there.
Okay.
I actually
Okay.
have another project that I've it's been in the works for a while, but I kind of put it on the back burner to focus on my books. But I have a record that I did with the legendary Karen Wheeler. And
Oh wow, I love her voice.
yeah, she's amazing. Like she was,
Back to life.
yes,
Don't get me
back
singing.
to reality. That's my girl. But yeah, she's definitely she blessed me with a hook. Like I wrote the whole record and she sang that hook for me. So yeah, I'm gonna shoot a video to that before I release it. Um, there's another record that I actually already released a video to it a few years back, but like I said, it's kind of been, it's a process to do this stuff. I'm a one woman show, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm a one man show, so tell me about it.
yeah, so I have really like 2 or 3 videos that I need to be shooting next,
Mm.
but I get
I'd
together.
love to hear that song. What's the name of the song with Karen Willard again?
When I release it, it's called "Feels So Good."
Feels so good. Okay,
Yes, it
all right.
does, and it does. That record feels so good.
Are there any other things you want to mention before we go?
Yeah, just yeah, check me out, zizzolife.com, and then look for the new music when it's dropped. 42 Bar Charge is on iTunes, I'm sorry, on YouTube, that video. I also have another video where it was a collaboration record between me and a few artists from around the world. So it's an international collaboration record. That one's called Hot Girl. And if you watch the video, I'm an animated character in the video. It's like, I don't know if you see it on my Facebook. You might see this little
Uh,
cartoon character. Like, that's me.
okay.
That's me.
Ah,
I'm
okay,
a superhero.
okay,
Yeah, and if you
okay.
watch the video, she's a little superhero out there in the universe and stuff. So it's like,
That's
you
what
know.
I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create an avatar for myself as well. That's why I call those little
Oh yeah, she's
animated
definitely my
versions.
avatar. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she was designed, like when they were creating the video, they took my picture and the artist came up with that. But yeah, so that's if you go on YouTube, that video is up there too. It should be right on my website. Everything is up there. Made sure there's links to everything on zizzolife.com. So check the
ZizzoLife.com.
girl out.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate the conversation. I'm glad to hear that you're in great condition, great form, healthy,
Thank you. Thank you.
and
Oh,
you're
there's
just
also vitamins on my site too. Hold up, my bad.
oh.
So I gotta mention this. So when after going through the chemo, my immune system was messed up, and
Mm.
I tried a whole bunch of stuff to get my immune system right, and it wasn't working. The vitamins that I started taking that not only helped my immune system improve, but it's gotten. I'm like, I ain't gonna say I'm back to fully normal because that was a hell of a ride, but they did a hell of a great job. Like I went years without getting sick. When before I used to get
And
sick
what are they
every
called?
6 months. It's called Lemoplex. So if you
Okay.
go on my website, you'll see you scroll up and at some point you'll see Full Aspect Health. And I swear by these vitamins. So I just have to share them with people.
Okay.
And that's definitely up there. Also essential oils for people that like doTERRA oils and like to diffuse oils. That's up there too. And my shea butters. My butters is up there too. I keep forgetting.
Okay.
I
Okay.
forgot to tell you. I'm all types of things. And
Okay, I love it because it's all the things that I love. I mean, I love smelling good, feeling good. I
mhm.
love oils. I have one here on my desk that I can't see right now, but I have my oils as well, and vitamins is something that I'm trying to be consistent about. I have vitamins, but I'm trying to be consistent about it. But I definitely look to the ones that you just mentioned
Yeah,
to
well,
me.
these vitamins, what I love about them is I can't stand taking pills, really. And
Mm-hmm.
this is a
Me
powder and you
too.
pour it into water, like four
Oh,
ounces of
really?
water, and you just drink it. And it goes right into your system in like 20 minutes.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, like, you'll feel your energy increase in the first couple days of taking this. Like, I'm
Okay.
dead serious. Like, you'll feel a change in your body and the way you feel, like, within the first couple weeks. You'll be like, "Oh, wow,
Okay.
this is definitely different.
And
Definitely
then
different."
and give me the name one more time.
Limoplex.
Limo. How do you spell that?
Limuplex. Limoplex.
Limoplex. Okay,
Yeah, but it's
perfect.
all, again, it's all on ZizzoLife.com.
Yes,
No,
yes,
but
yes, yes.
the whole point of the full aspect is that what I want to bring to people is the full aspect of life, body, mind, spirit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all these parts all encompass self-love. Like, you got to love yourself physically by taking care of yourself as well as you can in any way, shape, or form that you can. And you got to love yourself mentally, get your mind right. And you got to also learn to tune into yourself, your emotional body, your spirit, and love that too. It's all parts of you. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the full aspect.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The human being is we're mental, we're spiritual, we're physical. We
absolutely.
have all those components and they all have to be honored, acknowledged, and you have to support them.
Absolutely.
And I love that you're doing that. You took the emotional is self-love that you mentioned that is doing this conversation, which is something that we all need to take seriously.
Hmm.
And another thing that we need to really look at is, our mental, emotional state that we need to be mindful of. And now, and sometimes what can really help to emphasize that is when we take care of the external, when we make sure that we're taking our vitamins, we are, putting oils, essential oils on our
Yeah, yeah.
skin,
It's
you know.
it's that's all helpful, and I would definitely tell anybody, yes, do the external work, but more importantly, the internal work, because the internal work is what's going to push you to change your habits with the
Hmm.
external work.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you love on yourself and your emotions and get in tune with your spirit, and I mean that in the sense of, meditation, like really connecting with yourself, learning all the subtle ways and feelings that your body has, really get in tune with that. And once you start doing that, you'll be more attracted to, or more interested in using the essential oils and taking your vitamins, because sometimes it's the internal that blocks you from taking care of yourself because you're so
Hmm.
preoccupied with
Hmm.
so many stories that you keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on in your head with, that doesn't change the outcomes.
Right.
So
Because the external is just an inflection of is just a reflection of the internal.
absolutely,
So if
absolutely.
the internal world is all jacked up, then it won't be long, people, that the external world begin to
Have a
be jacked
reflection.
up as well.
It's just showing you.
It's just showing you. So it's
Yep.
one thing that I know that. So whenever I'm feeling like, oh my God, this internal whatever's going on in my life, I know that I need to, of course, like you said, meditate, journal, do the
Listen,
out. So
meditation.
because it's going to show up on the outside, it's going to also begin to, show you some funky stuff on the outside when a whole bunch of negative stuff is happening inside.
I like you said the funky, because I say that meditation is like a shower for your mind. You
Mm-hmm.
won't go a day without taking a shower so your body don't stink.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation is the shower for your mind. If you
Ah.
don't meditate every day for at least 5 minutes, if you can, if
Mm-hmm.
you can do 10, 20, 30, that's great. But if you can just at least get 5 minutes in, just clean it a bit. Just poof. It'll
Yeah.
make a difference in your life. It
It
will.
will. It will. It definitely would do it. I have a friend called who does a show called Meditate with Cynthia, and she has guided meditations, and so I really am getting. I've been doing meditation for years, but I've been doing it more consistently now
Yeah.
because you
Important.
just need it because all this COVID
Mhm.
stuff is driving me crazy. You know. But your book is Stage 4, a cancer survivor story.
Yes.
And are you under your was it in the was it window Wendy's Zizzo or is it
Yep.
under
Wendy. Well, it's under Wendy's Zizzo, yeah. The The book is
Okay,
ready.
okay, okay. Perfect,
I
perfect.
put the whole
Okay.
government out there. Plus, people like, oh,
Yeah.
your name sounds dope. I'm like, all right, well, let's just use it. You know,
It did. It's a great name. It's
that's my
memorable.
real name. People like Zizzo, like, what's that? I'm like, it's on my birth certificate. Like,
Yeah, well, you know what? That's the thing about it. Is just to me, if you got a great name, then use it because it's so catchy. You know,
yeah,
I have had no problem remembering your name, no problem at all. And I'm
I like
bad.
that.
I'm bad at
Yes,
I'm bad at remembering names.
marketing. No.
Right there, you go. So you have a great name. So
Thank you,
don't
honey.
change that. I would even say,
No, no, no,
I would
no.
don't. Yeah, no, you got a great name.
Thank
So
you. Much appreciated.
you're welcome.